Yo guys, welcome back, and today I'm going to be talking about CoD 4's pre-alpha and what changed. If you enjoy, please like and subscribe, and yeah, let's get into it. So, for a bit of background, in 2011, an Xbox dev kit was found that had 4 builds of CoD 4 on it. Build 328 from June 2007, Build 290 from May 2007, Build 270 from April 2007, and finally, the one we're interested in, Build 253 from March 2007. The build I'm going over is not the first build, just the oldest public build. A little fun fact, there is a build from every single day of development. That means that CoD 4 must have began development on the 13th of July 2006. So as for what changed on a narrative front, it's actually pretty simple. So Captain Price was originally a Marine and not in the SAS. Also, he was voiced by his CoD 2 voice actor, not Billy Murray, who was his voice actor from CoD 4 to MW3. Al-Assad originally was the main antagonist, not merely a secondary antagonist to Zakhaev. Also, FNG was actually a USMC mission, which we'll have a bit more detail on later. You can also see this in the aforementioned Build 290, meaning that this must have been changed fairly late in development. Also, the mission Crew Expendable was actually meant to be the final mission of the game and would have contained a speedboat chase, and a fight on a beach. It sounds familiar? Well, this actually eventually became the mission Endgame in MW2. Apparently, the reason why Crew Expendable was moved was because the devs cut an unnamed mission because Crew Expendable was apparently hard to place in this campaign. Onto changes to weapons, which I'll try to speedrun here. So all pistol animations are just from CoD 2. All pistols use the M1911 icon from CoD 2 as a placeholder. The Scorpion is actually depicted by the Mini Uzi because it didn't have a model by this point. The AK-47's icon is used for all ARs. Also, the AK itself is actually pretty rough in terms of its look. The G36C has a different reload animation. The M16 has also a different look. All snipers have the CoD 2 Lee Enfield icon as a placeholder. The M21, interesting enough, has the M40's firing sound and the M4's reload animation. The M40 actually had a different firing sound at this time. The Barrett 50 cal actually uses the Dragonov's model, which is actually pretty ironic. There is also the cut weapon AW50 that was shown in this build, although it is like the Barrett in the sense that it's shown as a Dragunov. Both shotguns use the CoD 2 icon for the trench gun. Also, the W1200 uses the trench gun's animation and has a shorter pump. The M1014 also has a different reload animation. And finally, the Claymore actually doesn't have a plant animation in this build, but merely a progress bar. There are also 2 cut game modes, Tag, which works exactly like the game in real life, and Acquisition, which is basically capture the flag, but it's free for all and you have to hold on to it. On to campaign missions now, where we're actually going to talk about these missions in order. So the first one is called Kleenex Training, which I assume is the Marines FNG variant. There's also Cargo Ship, which I assume is meant to be Crew Expendable. Next it's the Coup, which obviously happens in game. Then Armada, which is Charlie Don't Surf. We then have Bog A and Bog B, which I'll assume is the Bog and War Pig. We then have Aftermath, which ends the Marine part of the campaign here. We then have Scout Sniper, which is just all gillied up, and Sniper Escape, which is one shot, one kill. We then have Zipline, which is basically the mission Blackout, but in an early stage. We then have Ambush, which is just the mission Sins of the Father. Then we have Hunted, which the name is actually finalised, although it's much later than it is in the real game. We then have AC-130, which is obviously Death from Above. We then have Village Defend and Village Assault, which I don't know what these are for certain. We also have School, which is actually the gameplay you're seeing in the background. We have ICBM, which is Ultimatum, Launch Room A and B, which I'm going to assume is all in and no fighting in the war room, Cheat Ride, which I'm going to assume is game over, and finally Airplane, which is probably Mile High Club, or at least an early version of it. Next, we're going to talk about testing levels. So, as these are tests, obviously they're not meant to be in the real game, but first there is SWAT, which is basically a map for testing AI and scripting. It is also the only way to get the default weapon, which is basically just a testing weapon that's in every CoD game, I believe. In this game, whilst it's invisible, it actually has the AK's icon, although squished, and has a 10-round mag, although if you reload it, shortens to 5 for whatever reason. Anyway, there was also 2 firing ranges, one for assault rifles and one for everything else. It was also interior concept, a level probably just used for testing indoor lighting if I'm being honest. Next, the javelin test, which is also self-explanatory. But there is also a night version, which is just the same, but, well, night. There is also dog testing, which was used to test the dog tracking of players. And finally, there is vehicle damage, which is self-explanatory. It just tests how vehicles get destroyed in the game. Yeah, so finally for this video, some remnants from other CoD games. So firstly, there are references to the CoD 1 missions Burnville and Dawnville. The intro video is literally CoD 2's intro video. There is a bug fix for the mission Stalingrad sewers from CoD 1 for whatever reason. There's also references to CoD 2's opening mission Red Army Training. There is also a reference to the CoD 2 mission Gully Assault. And finally, something very interesting, all original files for this game are referenced as CoD 3, which means yes, this is CoD 4, well actually CoD 7, but it's referenced internally as CoD 3, a game that already existed. Yeah, that's never not going to be confusing. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Please like, subscribe, and comment down below what I should do next, and yeah, bye.